Right, as reports are saying and as incoming images are showing, actually Israel has launched preemptive strike, as what he said. Actually, Israel is saying that it has launched a preemptive strike against Tehran. So far as we are just seeing from the rooftops in three parts of Tehran, two in centers and one in west in Argentine Square. So we are just witnessing thick black smoke rising into the air. And in the center of Tehran, around Pasteur Square, which is a location for the presidential office, around that place has been hit. Of course, we have to wait for official confirmation of the exact places and locations which have been hit by Israel. Of course, according to Israeli defense minister, actually, a state of emergency has also been declared in Israel, and this shows that definitely we will wait for the launch of drone and missile attacks by Iran against Israel. You know that definitely any kind of response is awaited to take place in the coming hours against Israeli attacks against Iran, because you know that Iranian officials have always repeatedly said that any kind of attacks from the side of Israel or the United States will be decisively responded in full force. So we have to wait for missile launches or kind of a appropriate response to these Israeli preemptive strikes. And this comes as Iran and the United States are once again in the middle of negotiations, and this comes as U.S. President Donald Trump on Friday said diplomatic efforts were unsatisfactory and he was about to make a difficult choice. And now what we see today might be the result of that choice. You know that back in June 2025, we saw that, again, U.S. and Iran were in the middle of negotiations, and even the sixth round of talks had been scheduled to take place the week after the fifth round. Again, Israel launched surprise attacks against Iran, killing top nuclear scientists and military commanders, and also hundreds of Iranian civilians. So this again shows that the United States and Israel are again because I'm hearing again sound is coming right now. I'm just hearing another explosion. So as I'm just reporting live, so we have to wait for official confirmations of exactly the locations or if any casualties have been reported. So as soon as we get more update, I'll be back with you, Yunan. The situation here is a little bit mixed situation, reactions from the people, because they're actually surprised by the attacks again. I mean, on people whom I talked to while I was on the rooftops and went out in the streets a little bit around the corner of the office where I'm right now. Well, because you know that nobody maybe expected such attacks to take place one day right after U.S. President Donald Trump describing the talks, the diplomatic efforts as unsatisfactory. You know, of course, in the past couple of weeks, we have witnessed the deployment of naval assets in the Persian Gulf, and they've always been the shadow of military threats against Tehran. But nobody thought that this time again, during the talks, which the third round of which was held in Geneva on Thursday, again, Israel launched what it calls preemptive strikes against Tehran. So now with this, we do know that definitely there would be some retaliatory attacks from the side of Iran against Israel, because Iran says that it will not actually leave any attack unanswered. So like the June 12-day war back in 2025, we have to wait to see how much heavy the retaliation from the side of Iran will be. And so far as we are hearing, Iran has said that, according to Iran's foreign ministry spokesman, that if attacked, definitely negotiations will be stopped. So this will be another blow to the process of negotiations and diplomatic efforts, so far as we know, because this has always been reiterated by Iranian officials that definitely negotiations needs a calm atmosphere and should be taking place away from any pressure, force, or threats and intimidations. But now what we see here on the ground is attacks. It's military action, it's military force on the ground taking the place of negotiations or diplomatic efforts. So in view of all these, we have to see how would be the response of Iranian officials, and we have to wait for incoming statements, reports about the casualties, you know. And now nobody would maybe guess that right after U.S. President Donald Trump, one day after Trump saying the diplomatic efforts were unsatisfactory, and also one day after the Omani mediator who just held talks with the U.S. Vice President about the details of the Geneva talks on Thursday, actually. So another attack take place here. So this means this is another blow to the process of negotiation. So we have to wait to see what comes out of statements or official reactions towards this here in Iran.